Hey friends, what we focus on the longest grows the strongest. It's something that I repeatedly say to my family, my daughter, and my patients. What we focus on the longest grows the strongest. I think that the focus of the media is to get more viewers, right? That's what really makes them more money, and that's how they survive, how many viewers they have. We know that fear is one of those emotions that let us be like drive us to be hooked to the media. So of course it made sense that they would try to keep us really afraid. They would show the information in a way that's going to keep us really nervous. So I'm going to show you basically the same information that we hear from the media, but in another way. I'm a psychotherapist, and my job is not to make you afraid. My job is to help you calm down, and I'm going to attempt to help you calm down. Yesterday, June 29th, we were told that there were 5,266 new cases here in Florida, and that we have in the whole state about 120,000 active cases. But what they do not tell us and repeatedly say, because they say from time to time, but we don't really hear it as much, is that from those 5,266 new cases, 80% of them have no symptoms whatsoever. And at the beginning, we were hearing that you could actually, even if you didn't show any symptoms, you could actually pass this disease to somebody else, which the CDC now is saying that it's very, very unlikely for something like that to happen. If they're saying that it's very unlikely, most likely it is just not happening at all. So it's a virus. It's like a cold. It's like a flu in terms of how you transmit it. We don't catch a flu from somebody who doesn't have the flu, right? We get it from somebody who has symptoms. So that's a way to look at those numbers. They also told us that we had yesterday, June 29th, 28 deaths. I have explained in other episodes how the CDC basically gave permissions to, when they report the death of somebody, and if that person died with COVID or from COVID, that's reported as a COVID death. So I'm gonna explain to you what that means. When you died from COVID, you got sick, you got the symptoms, and maybe you got, all the long complications, and then you died from COVID. But from that 80% of people, if any of them has a heart attack and dies, and they are tested for COVID, they die with COVID, but not from COVID, not from any of the symptoms. Those deaths are allowed to be reported as a COVID death also. So there is a kind of a joke in the medical field. My husband is in the medical field. And one of the things that we always say is that the beauty of COVID is that it completely cured the flu and pneumonia. Nobody dies from the flu or pneumonia anymore. Why? Most likely because all those deaths are being counted as COVID deaths. So from those 28 deaths that we had yesterday, most likely that number really truly from COVID, it's much lower. So now I ask you, are those, looking at that way, does it help you calm down a little bit? And are those numbers really significant numbers for us to continue to have the state lowering and lowering the capacity in restaurants and doing what we're doing? I am terrified with the many childcare facilities that are being closed that probably won't be able to survive. And you and many of you and myself, I'm very blessed because I can work from home. I can, we can do lots of things from home and continue to survive. But most people do not have that luxury. And I think we need to be really compassionate about them, right? Most people really need to get out of their house and make a living outside of the home. So I want you to, I want to invite you to kind of look at that situation, to detox from the media. Please detox from the media, kind of stop it. hook yourself to YouTube channels that give you empowering information, inspirational messages, and connect with them, because one is going to keep your serotonin and dopamine levels high, which are the ones that actually increase your immune system. When we connect, what we focus on the longest grows the strongest again. When we focus on positive messages, that's going to keep us happier and more resilient and more resistant to any virus. So please stay focused on these messages. The CDC also reported the data from May. It says that they know now that that the death rate from COVID is 15 times lower than what they expected. That's a big number. So they also said that here in the US, the death rate from COVID, it's about 0.26%. And when you're younger, it's even lower than that. So those are numbers that I believe can give you peace. They're really not that much different than from a seasonal, a bad season of flu. So hopefully this was a little more calming and soothing for you. And again, what we focus on the longest grows the strongest. Go and look at messages at YouTube channels or other. Gaia is this phenomenal app that you can go in and have tons of wonderful inspirational messages. I will put it in my description of the channel here, of this episode, so you can look it up. And I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.